About 486,000 people live full-time in an RV, more than twice as many as in 2021. Priced out of traditional housing, more Americans are living in RVs. Moving into an RV may seem like a way to save money, but it can come with unexpected costs and trap families in a cycle of debt. Oh, I kind of want to hear about that. How does it keep you in a cycle of debt? Unexpected costs. Well, yeah, I mean, the maintenance and all that. And also, I don't think it's as cheap as people think. Obviously, it depends on where you're, what you're normally spending. But if all of a sudden, your gas bill is doubling, that can offset a lot, because gas isn't cheap either. Especially if you're just traveling, to all these different states. A massive area for RVs is Western United States. So gas there is more expensive than in other areas, right? So yeah, this is a big thing. Honestly, I kind of would have guessed that this number would have been higher. Actually, I kind of thought I would have guessed that just across America, this number would have been higher. But it is what it is. So there it is. More Americans live in RVs as cost of owning a home rises.
Outside light on. It actually has a queen size bed, which is hard to believe.
For Gus Francis, this is home. A 20-year-old camper he bought for $5,000, parked in an RV lot in Graysville, Tennessee, just north of Chattanooga.
I got all my rosaries for protection everywhere. Books.
Now retired, he worked for decades as a commercial diver and hoped to live closer to his widowed mother. But when he sought a more conventional home,
I just can't see how people with a normal job making $15 an hour can afford an apartment without multiple roommates.
Are you able to use this for now or no?
No, I don't use it at all. I eat a lot of soup.
Yeah, soup is great.
Meals are made in the microwave, the stove unused for fear of a gas leak. Right next door is Debbie Williams.
Welcome to my house. Over here's the grandkids, see?
Oh, cute, yeah.
And that's
so this is like a newer, one's newer.
She sold her house in Kentucky to be closer to her grandchildren. But housing prices near Chattanooga increased by almost 50% since 2020.
Apartments are like about $1,200 a month.
Thing.
But then you got your utilities to pay. This is permanent. Plus it include it's like $550 a month, includes electric, water.
So you're saving over
and
50%.
Trash too, everything. It includes everything.
Debbie works nights, helping adults with disabilities, and says she likes her setup, even if the exercise bike doesn't fit inside.
Bathroom, yeah.
Okay.
I like my shower. It's really nice. And then my bedroom.
Debbie and Gus now among the nearly 500,000 people in the U.S. living in RVs full time.
I sometimes thought, man, if I could have saved more money in the past, but what it was is I don't blame myself either, because I raised 4 kids with no child support.
Despite the tight quarters, plenty of room to build a community that matters. Ellison Barber, NBC News, Graysville, Tennessee.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and
Yeah, here we go. Downtown rail zip past rows of tightly packed RVs on his kick scooter until he arrives at 22-foot travel trailer. His family calls home. Days before his 12th birthday. Jeez. Parked that week in Southern Oregon campground off a highway. Inside, his mom was quickly washing a pile of dishes before the water in their RV. His tank ran out, leaned his scooter next to his sister's Frozen-themed tricycle, and came inside to help make lunch. Doesn't have any tables or chairs, so he sat on a makeshift bed covered by a SpongeBob blanket, and blah, 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 blah. Lifestyle doesn't accommodate things like sitting at a table. Yeah, that's tough. That's definitely tough. I mean, yeah. So they had these kinds of things in Los Angeles a lot in certain areas, before they were kicked out of, they had to be in certain areas, usually next to the freeway or, roads parallel with the freeway or different things. And you just see rows of them, of RVs that are just sitting. They just look like they're permanently there, and they look kind of shoddy and run down, and they may have a generator right behind it. you know, a window AC, just all of it. All the windows are all blacked out so you can't see in it. Yeah, there's a lot of that out there. And then you go somewhere like Arizona or Quartzsite or you know, places like that, and there's just RVs in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's just like they're just out there. There's an RV all the way out there. There's like mold. You just see them dotting the land. Mom lost the daycare business she was running. The family was evicted from their 4-bedroom house about 3 hours away. 175 square foot RV with his mom's 6-year-old sister. Jesus. Campground costs $25 to $45 a night. They park on remote federal lands for free for 2 weeks. Don't come with water. Yeah, you're boondocking. Bathed and washed their clothes in a river. I mean, this is adapted to this lifestyle because we have to adapt, says Dante, a 12-year-old. Now spends most of his free time outdoors. That's a plus. I mean, looking on the bright side, that's a plus. Exploring and starting an online school program. If we don't adapt, we won't change. And if we don't change, we'll be mad. And if we're mad, that just sucks. You don't want to be mad. Jeez, this kid is... Wow. Yeesh. Lifestyle adjustment. The data indicates a growing number of Americans are making as housing costs rise beyond what families can afford. More people are looking for shelter outside the traditional housing market. 486. Also, people need to start looking in areas that are not where they are. Like, there are more affordable areas in the country than where you are. There are. You could move somewhere else. And again, you know, there's a lot that comes with that. It could be, you know, well, then where am I going to work? And my family doesn't live there. And just different things like that. Things like family that tie you to a specific area. And I get that it's hard, right? It's not that simple, but I think for a lot of people, they should, you know, they don't. It's just like, oh, but I have to live here. And it's like, well, a third have children. So a third of these people living full-time in an RV have children. A vast majority earn less than $75,000 a year. Oh, well, yeah. These things, some of them, like, obviously this is an older one compared to this one back here. This is also a fifth wheel. Fifth wheels tend to be nicer than travel trailers. This is a travel trailer. But that's all how you want to live and what type of vehicle. All right, all of it. And, you know, there's other factors that come into it, basically. While fifth wheels are bigger and generally nicer, I would probably rather be in a travel trailer just because you can park it, leave it, and then drive somewhere else, explore, do your, you know, go into town, do your, you know, whatever you're doing, right? And not have to just drag I know that you can do that with this also, but it's just different. You can use the back of your truck instead of the back of your truck is for the fifth wheel. For me, this is not the lifestyle of nomadic young professionals working remotely as they travel the country, right? Your van life. Oh, yeah. Chronicling their van life on social. Right. Yeah. Nor is it the more traditional image of the retiree crossing national parks off their bucket list in a $100,000 motor coach. Yeah. Experience of lower income Americans making hourly wages as childcare workers, home health aides, or living off Social Security checks with no place else to go in a housing market increasingly catering to the wealthiest slices of society. Yeah, I mean, difficult, like really difficult, super hard. Slowdown in the labor market has made it increasingly difficult for many families to make ends meet. Applications for unemployment benefits jumped this month to the highest level in almost 4 years. Prices continue to tick up, driven by increases in household expenses such as groceries, gasoline, and electricity. Some say living full-time out of an RV had freed them up financially to build their savings or pay down debt. I think that this is huge, and I would do it in a heartbeat. I think that this is worth it. If this is what your outcome is, I think this is huge. Others say it has come with unanticipated benefits like a sense of community among fellow RVers and the ability to spend more time with their children, with everyone living in a smaller shared space. This is both a positive and a negative. Right. In terms of, you know, ability to spend more time with their kids. I think that's excellent. Living in a smaller shared space, that can be difficult and create tension at times because everybody needs their space. Right. I mean, really, You know, while spending more time with your kids, I think is huge, and right, that's and probably necessary for a lot of people, because it's hard. You know, I see pluses and minuses with that. Might seem like an economical choice that can come with unexpected costs and challenges. RVs aren't built for full-time living, so the added wear and tear can lead to costly repairs like broken AC, middle of summer, leaking pipes that leave owners taking showers out of a bucket. Perpetual moving among campsites can make it hard to hold a job or find reliable childcare. RVs also don't compare to a traditional home when it comes to withstanding extreme weather. Yeah. RVs are recreational vehicles. They are a vehicle. They are built for temporary rec use. That is how they are built and intended to be used. They also come with different financial challenges. Unlike a traditional home, RVs often depreciate quickly. Yeah, it's a car, right? It's a car. Loan terms can be spread out over long periods to lower monthly payments, but that can quickly leave borrowers underwater, owing more on their loan than their RV is worth, of course. Yeah, I mean, if I were to do something like this, which I've looked into all of this, I think it's all very interesting. The whole van life, RV life, you know, just did another video on manufactured houses, all this stuff, because I like to live cheaply. Right now, I'm in a time in my life where I'm living more expensive than I ever have. And luckily I can afford it, but I have lived so cheaply for so long, and I know the importance of it. I see the value in it. I see that you can get ahead and stay ahead, you know, just not fall behind when you're living cheaply. There's major benefits to it. To me, I just have never wanted to overextend myself, you know, where it's like, okay, one thing happens and you're in trouble. You're losing your house, your car, you know, this, that, and the other thing, right? I don't like any of that. That freaks me out. You know, you got to play defense, right? There's offense and defense, and you got to play defense because things happen without, you know, COVID being a major example. Things can happen that are out of your control, and how you already are doing things and how you have things set up could determine how you come out of it or how you're able to handle it. So I see all this kind of thing because, okay, times are good now, but times aren't always good. So you need to prepare when times are good for when times aren't good. So again, this is why I'm interested in this kind of stuff. How I would do it is not just travel around. I think that traveling around in an RV sounds nice and could be cool and fun and exciting for a while. But ultimately, I would probably want to have a piece of land and stick it on that piece of land and be able to maybe come and go, like have a home base and then come and go as I want, as it makes sense for me, but at least have a place to stay so that I'm not paying $25 to $45 a night or more. Some of that even sounds cheap, right? Some of these places for overnight stays at RV parks and stuff like that are over $50 a night. And that adds up real fast. Forget that. That's expensive to me. I would want to have a home base that's paid off that, you know, I can bug out at. That's what I would want. You got your Starlink. You're good to go. And yeah, they depreciate. This is why I wouldn't buy a new one. I would not buy a new one. Just like a car. No. Preferably pay cash and don't buy brand new. It can be a great lifestyle, but it can also be yet another trap for poor people who just keep getting poorer. Okay, hang on a second. Kai Tucker found that out firsthand. A disabled veteran unable to work full time. She moved into an RV in 2017 as a way to cut down her housing costs. But after 2 years, she'd had to replace 6 tires. Refrigerator and toilet had broken. The generator stopped working. Then the engine started to act up, which would have cost up to $10,000 to fix. Without money for the repair, she had to move out of the RV, even as she continued paying the $500 plus a month loan for several more years. No. See, this is where I'm like, no, I think you did it wrong. I think maybe you did it wrong. She house sat for a family member to get her finances back in order, but she found it difficult to afford a rental apartment on the $58,000 a year she gets in disability and Social Security payments. I'm sorry. Hang on a second. You're getting $58,000 and you can't make it work a year? No. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. As a retired person, you're doing it wrong. No. So last year, she took out another loan on a used RV. This person just keeps on making bad choices. $22,500 loan is spread out over 7 years to bring her monthly payments down to $350, but she worries the camper will only last for 5 years given its age. She's been living at a campground in Georgia where she stays for free because she does volunteer work cleaning up damage from Hurricane Helene last year. Never going to be able to afford decent housing even though I have a steady income. That's what's really frustrating. I feel like this person's doing it wrong. There's something you make 58 grand. What other debts do you have? I don't know. You're making 58 grand from disability and Social Security payments. You can do eBay. If you're able to do volunteer work cleaning up damage from a hurricane, you can do stuff like eBay and make extra money on the side. You can actually do pretty well doing that. You know, especially if your starting point is 58 grand a year. I mean, come on. I don't know how that works in terms of if you make extra income, does it affect your disability payments? I don't know how that works. But like if they're like, oh, you're working, you're making other money, you're not getting disability. You know, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I don't know, man. That sounds like something's weird. Something's wrong. Something's weird. You know, if the other guy that we just saw in Tennessee can buy a trailer for $5 grand and you're taking out a loan for $22,500, you're maybe not making the best choices. You know, you're making 58 grand, save up 5 grand. You know, you can save up 5 grand, save up 10 grand. You know, should have done that probably when you were house sitting or whatever. I don't know. I'm just, there's other things to this story that aren't adding up. For Stitt's family, medical emergency set off the rapid financial spiral that led them to an RV. At the start of the year, Stitt was renting an 1,800 square foot home, Salem, Oregon, horses in the backyard. Yeah, I mean, that's After years of struggling financially and overcoming the odds of being a teen mom with 3 kids by her early 20s, Stitt said she felt that she'd finally made her way in the middle class by her late 30s, could provide a better life for Dante and his sister, a mother of 5, open-owned daycare. A few years back, and was on track to make $100,000 this year, with plans to open a second location. February had to temporarily shut down her daycare. One of her older children was hospitalized and needed around-the-clock care. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks. Much of her savings went to pay the salaries of her childcare workers, leaving her with little cushion for rent. She tried finding side jobs, considering taking her roommates, even started a GoFundMe page, but none of this was enough to catch up. She applied for rental assistance from the state, wasn't approved in time. For 3 months of missing her $2,000 rent payment, she was evicted. Her last $3,000 to purchase a 28-year-old RV that an elderly woman had been living in. Family consolidated years of keepsakes. I mean, that sucks. That's a different situation. Family's RV is a Tetris puzzle of buns. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine you live in a house? What was the house again? It was a 3-bedroom. It was 1,800 square feet. I remember that, right? Yeah, it went from 1,800 square feet to 175 square feet or something like 180, whatever it said earlier. I mean, yo, woo! And on an eviction, not just, okay, we're doing this and we're planning ahead and we're kind of building into it, if that makes sense. No, it's like, no, you're being evicted. And then you got to make choices right then and there. Like, right then and there. That is freaking tough. Finding a place to park the RV has been a perpetual challenge. Public campgrounds limit stays to 14 days. Longer term RV parks can cost as much as $800 a month. Family is, which is just not, when you're thinking of living like this, you're not thinking $800 a month to just park it. I think I would look for options that are not that. I would either buy land so that you just pay for it and it's done, instead of this monthly just constant, has often lived off the grid, parked on remote federal land, or something like that. Cause, yeah, I don't know. That's tough. It's really tough. I don't know, man. $550 a month for electric, water, and Wi-Fi. That's not horrible. That's not horrible. I mean, electric, water, and Wi-Fi. I'm like, what do I pay here? Let's say electric is 300, which it's never been 300. And Wi-Fi, you get a Starlink, it's 120 bucks a month. So now we're up to 420. Water, I mean, even if we say it's 80 bucks, which is not 80 bucks a month, that's 500. So this is maybe a little bit steep, and especially you're living outside of Chattanooga. Not saying anything against Chattanooga, but you know what I mean? It's like, and also they probably have the capacity to make this go higher because it's like a rent type deal, right? They could turn around and say, it's going up to 600 a month. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, so this is a hard thing. This is hard. I think that really how you do it really depends and matters. If I were to do it, I would probably move to Arizona. I would probably move to Arizona and do it. I would not be in Florida doing this or anywhere that gets hurricanes at all. I think you're potentially on borrowed time. That's just not that great an idea. I would try and take advantage as much as possible of your cheap living situations by working as much as you can, like it's making and saving. If you can, those added benefits of being outdoors more, I think that's great. I personally think that's really good. More people probably should be doing that. More people need to get outside. I think that would be a really good thing. But overall, this is tough. And I really thought that it would be a lot more than just under 500,000 people. Yeah. What is this? This says 1 million. Oh, this is interesting. $256,000 people homeless. So this is saying 1 million people in RVs. Based on 2023 population numbers. Here's all your sources. Yeah, I would have thought that the number was higher than 486. I would have thought the number was higher, but I mean, it's whatever. 500,000 to 1 million people living in an RV full time.